Hello everyone, Ryan Embry here from the Sweet Spot. We are live on location at the Hunter Hotel Investment Conference, and I'm here with Extreme Hospitality. Thank you so much for joining me on the Sweet Spot, everybody.
You're welcome, Ryan. Thanks for inviting us. We're so happy to be here to spend this time with you.
Yeah, really excited to be here. Let's talk about Extreme Hospitality. Let's talk about, we had an interesting backstory you were sharing, just a couple of years old, so still in its infancy, but seen a lot of growth so far, very receptive. How'd you come up with the name Extreme Hospitality?
Yeah, well, it's funny. When we were sitting down, we were talking about what makes us different. What do we want to be in this industry, and what is it all about for us? We talked about hospitality forward and hospitality first, and remembering that it starts at the property level. It starts with our guests and our associates. And we talked about how hospitality is the framework that we want our company to be framed around, and to what degree. And we said, it's extreme hospitality. It's taking it further. It's doing it with an extra oomph so that everybody can experience an above average stay, whether you're staying with us at a Hampton Inn or you're staying with us at one of our Michelin key properties. So it's having that ability to push it a step forward. And as we built that framework, by the time we were done talking about what the company was going to be, we said, the name is Extreme Hospitality. And it's been alluded to today that that's kind of our North Star. And we follow that as our ability to say, okay, it's Extreme Hospitality every day. We see that logo, we wake up, what is this about? And it's about pushing that forward each day.
Well, listen, right now it's tough out there. The operational costs are increasing. So to have team buy-in and a strong company culture, and like you said, a North Star that really your team can get around, that's going to help. Ryan, what do you see when you come to Hunter? What makes for like a successful Hunter conference for you?
Yeah, and there's so many benefits of partnering here at the Hunter Conference, and just so many decades of excellence that they've put on shows like this. But I think it's the connections, and it's looking at strategic partners. It's looking at all of your friends that you find throughout the industry over the years that become now professional acquaintances. And I think that's how it starts. It's about the connections, about getting into those great conversations. It's a little bit more of an intimate setting. So we really found that a lot of deals do get done here for a reason. And we've been really pouring into this conference for many years, and we're excited to be here today as Extreme.
Yeah, absolutely. And, shaking hands sometimes is the thing that takes it over the finish line, that deal, right? Being face-to-face and then coming in, again, with a strong name, strong company culture. Those are the things that move those deals along, especially in a time right now where, John, it's a little bit tougher to get those transactions and deals done. You're an industry veteran, obviously been around the block. You've seen this. Where do you kind of see growth and maybe opportunity?
We see a lot of opportunity for Extreme Hospitality and the services that we provide, but we know that it's a tough time in the industry, but I think the toughest days have been behind us.
Yeah.
And where we come in, we provide a service to hotel owners where we can manage and get to the bottom line profit they need that increases the value of their hotels.
Yeah, no, absolutely. A lot of conversation here about industry trends at Hunter, right? We have all the different brands. This is one of those unique spaces where all the brands come together, but you typically see those trends kind of arise, bubble up to the top because everyone's talking about them. Let's talk about technology, right? You talked about extreme hospitality, extreme service. Where does technology fit into that? And without, taking away from what makes hospitality people serving people, right?
Yeah, it's a great framework for the question. I think what's really important is remembering it is a people business, right? So while we leverage our technology partners and we work with great tech, we make sure that we're not replacing our forward hospitality approach by eliminating roles where a guest touch point is needed. So making sure that we're working with tech in the right way to streamline back office approach, but not take away from our customer facing interactions. And that's really what's important. And working with vendors that are here this week and talking to people about growth opportunities of where we see our tech stack going, it's looking for scalability and a tech stack that is easily repeated, regardless of the brand, regardless of if it's an independent property, and bringing it throughout our entire portfolio.
I love that. It's empowering your employees to use technology to better the guest experience. Those are going to be those management companies and brands that continue to push our industry forward. Ryan, on the commercial side, obviously different markets, different segments right now. Any in particular bubbling up or that you like more than maybe others?
Yeah, and that's a great question. I think there has been a trend, I believe, now more towards the secondary markets, tertiary markets, and you're seeing a lot of opportunity in those areas. And I think where you have some multiple demand generators along with demographics that are trending in the right direction, I think allude to a lot of upside. And I think when you look at value adds, and that's what we bring to the table, uncovering that maybe unassumed opportunity in a segment that maybe hasn't been touched yet, but it's changing every day. And so I think it's staying in touch with the trends. It's making sure that you're not having just a one-size-fits-all approach. And I think looking at each submarket very uniquely is really the key to success. But, it comes to the fact, and I think as John had mentioned, that we've come a long ways, even call it the past 5 years. And the expectation that every associate understands every nuance, we really poured into the training, understanding of what segments are happening when and how to attack that from a holistic standpoint, literally on our property. So our director of sales, we're pushing them to think a little bit differently along with our revenue team and our marketing team. We're not settling for status quo. We're looking at evolving, and we're looking at all those markets, secondary and tertiary, that there's some upside. And I think you can see it in the Midwest. You can kind of see it in, kind of out in the Southwest. I think there's a lot of things that are going on there. And obviously, we're keeping a close eye on the geopolitical scene because that is altering every week almost, it seems like. So.
Yeah, I mean, John, we got a lot of people up here on stage trying to look into that crystal ball and predict the future for our industry. Put you on the spot a little bit. What do you think the future looks like in 2025 through 2026? Optimistic?
We're optimistic, but I think we're all guessing what's going to happen next, right? I mean, the temperature throughout the country now is very diverse, and we're all waiting to see how it's going to impact our industry. What we're seeing is a cutback on government spending, right? And for us in the hotel industry, there are government contractors that we deal with that we're seeing the downside of that. But hopefully these decisions will make to a stronger country and a stronger economy that we'll all benefit from in the future.
Yeah, John, great synopsis. We'll definitely keep an eye on what's going to happen in the hospitality industry, but maybe something a little bit more under your control. What do you see for the vision for Extreme Hospitality in 2025 and beyond?
Ryan, we've seen great success in what we're doing, but we see even greater success in 2025 and beyond. And then earlier, you had asked Derek about the start of Extreme Hospitality and how we came up with the name. And when I talk about our future, I want to talk about our past. We talk about practicing extreme hospitality and getting our team members to really, service our guests the way we want them to be serviced in the industry. And that's where the extreme comes in. However, we look at it also for the hospitality we practice with our hotel owners, our brand partners, and our vendors, and that's where it all comes to play. I think I've seen too many times in the industry where a good business person isn't a good hospitality person, and vice versa. Yeah. And what we bring is that good business sense to hospitality where we can manage all partners. And we've really brought success to our hotel owners by really taking a one-on-one approach with them, where we're working side by side with them and the other partners for the success of the hotel. So to us, that's where we see extreme hospitality really succeeding. And we're really operationally focused, so we take the time to really dig into the details of what makes a hotel successful so that we can implement those strategies so that every owner can benefit from increased profit, but also benefit from increased valuation of that profit that they derive from the practices that we put into place.
And, to kind of jump in on that as well, we're noticing a shift right now in owners over the past couple of years that have continued to look at their margin and they continue to be frustrated. And I think there's a shift right now to specialists, people that can really move the needle. They can do it in a hurry, because I think somewhat of the enigmatic approach of that constant looking at that bottom line over the past couple of years and not having it move, I think we're starting to get a lot more calls. And I think that's been what's been, I think, for us, being able to move that needle very quickly, understanding the root cause, and then putting an action plan in place. And doing it very holistically, authentically, above the line, and with a lot of integrity. And we're excited for the future.
Yeah. Eric, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I would say that, these guys touched on it in a great way, but I would say it's our clients, right? Our clients are really where we're focused, and it's driving the value for them and whatever their unique business plan is. So they're looking for valuation, they're looking to increase value for an exit, they're looking for a long-term hold, and they need our perspective on how we build a business plan around the next 5, 10, or 15 years. Or if that's something where it's how do we, look to refinance this or dispose of this asset in the next 1 to 3, we tailor fit that to what they need. And we bring that big corporate experience to community-based individuals, whether you're a first-time hotel owner or whether you own 50, we have the ability to assist you in any part of your portfolio. And it's really fun to work alongside our owners and their different perspectives.
Love it. We'll keep a close eye on Extreme Hospitality over the next few years. Wishing you and your team extreme amount of luck.
Great.
Thanks.
Thank you.